It doesn't even matter, I'm a Fulbright scholar.
Hey kitty girl, it's your world. When you walk the street, step into the beat. Hey kitty girl.
I look like when Alaska was Betty Davis. Hello, hello, hello everyone. My name is Sydney and thank you so much for watching my channel if you have been. I have been updating this channel with interviews of the season 9 queens and other people commenting on the season 9 queens, other famous drag queens at the cafe here in San Francisco, California. I'm not associated with the cafe or JC events. I'm just someone who likes to attend these events and also likes to just follow the queens around the city and see what they're up to. Today's gonna be a little different. Of course, you get to see my face, and I'm sorry if that's not a good thing for some of you, but I have some tea to spill. I went on Friday to the Los Angeles grand finale taping of RuPaul's Drag Race season 9. For the last 5 years, I guess, I have been watching it on Logo since season 4, you know, just seeing that taping. And if you don't know anything about the taping, the show is filmed in the summer ahead of time, or so, like maybe 9 months before it actually airs. And then after the show airs, we know who the top 3 is. So from there, they do a live taping where people buy tickets, they head down to Los Angeles, and then they can watch the filming be done live in front of them. And then, you know, of course, they do like several takes of things. They do the interviews. They interview the whole cast of everybody. And sorry, you're gonna have to excuse that. There's a lot of city noises going on. This is downtown San Francisco. 5 seasons now since Sharon Needles won, I've been watching on TV the taping that they do every year. Then there's the coronation, which happens in New York, and I've been to it one time. I went when Violet Chachki got crowned in season 7. That's where the top 3 queens, and maybe some other people from like the top 5 or top 6 or something, all show up. So they actually find out the same time you do. The top 3 are clearly, they're aware that they're the top 3, but they don't know who's won yet. That's like basically just like aired the night of. So you actually get to see on like Logo or VH1 or something. Somebody needs to stop playing music. This is a good song. Then of like those 3 fake reactions, they play like the one that's actually the winner, and then that person reacts. You can actually watch the video on Logo or World of Wonder or something. That's how that works for those of you who don't know. And now to spill some tea on what happened this time around. It was a very different reunion than what we were used to. I wasn't expecting any of this to happen, but you know Mama Ru always has her twists and turns. And this was definitely a season of some unconventional outcomes. So no surprise. What I was expecting, based on what I've seen in past seasons, was to show up, have Mama Ru come out, have like, you know, all the dancers come out and everything, and then watch like each queen come out one by one, announced by Michelle Visage. Each queen to get like a small interview. You know, they put like, I was expecting maybe James and Kimora and Charlie to come out first and each get interviewed, and then like Eureka and Cynthia or something like that. And then I was expecting to see, of course, like, you know, Valentina or someone, or Vera, get crowned Miss Congeniality. And then after that, I expected you know, the interviews with the top 3, or in this case, the top 4. Usually this show airs on Mondays, which means that we would have found out like maybe the Monday of that week who the top 3 was. And then we would already have like 4 days of knowing, oh, this is the top 3, blah, blah, blah. Or in this case, the fact that there's actually 4 people in the top. So we were actually wondering like what's gonna happen when like all of our friends in New York or on the East Coast are finding out who is getting to be in the top 3, while we're sitting here in Los Angeles going, well, it doesn't air till like later on in the night. We can't access our phones either. But they actually played it for us when we entered the arena. So this was in Glendale, California, the Alex Theater. I did notice people sitting in the VIP section were allowed in earlier than us. They actually got to like chill out in there for a couple hours before us. The rest of us, including people who did get to sit down on like the first floor, I was in the terrace. There's terrace, balcony, and then the floor. People who were in the floor, like my friend Anthony, did also have to stand in line and then weren't allowed in until 6, like the rest of us, or 6:15 or so. And so we get in there, and they play the episode for us. We get to see that no one is eliminated. And to finish my last thought of what I was expecting at the end Ru to come out and crown Shay, Trinity, Sasha, and Peppermint, so that they have the footage of all of them. And then later on, I would be like surprised, oh, it's so-and-so. They decided to switch things up this year. I actually did not get to see any interviews with people like Charlie Hides, Eureka, Valentina, Farrah. They did not really show us anything having to do with the queens that were not in the top 4. I was really shocked by that because I also knew so many people were dressed up as Valentina. Everyone was excited to see her, and whenever she came on stage, we had people just screaming, Valentina! You're our queen or whatever. And so I'm like, I expected them to, focus on her for at least a bit to please the crowd and get some interesting reactions out of everybody. But instead, there were no interviews with other cast members. They just kind of came out. They walked across the runway, they posed, and then they left, and then they would come back to stand behind the winners when they got crowned, just for a big group reaction shot. So that was very disappointing. I wanted to see all of season 9 get represented, not just the top 4. Next thing was I did a Q&A portion with all 4 people. It was really lovely, I have to say, getting to see them film their loved ones in the audience and everything. Everyone had a really heartfelt story. Now, we've never gotten a chance to, witness anything like that before. Any decision-making process of Ru's when it comes to the top 3. We get to see the decision-making process within the show. We get to see oh, you were in the top, you were in the bottom, here's why. We don't get that when it comes to the top 3. We don't know necessarily why Bianca is the winner, why Jinx is the winner, why Sharon is the winner. It's just kind of obvious why, and we all know, that they either did the best in the competition, they had the most points, the most wins, or were the most consistent or something like that. With this one, apparently it's determined right in front of your eyes. So with the top 4, they say that 2 people are going to lip sync against each other, and the other 2 are going to lip sync against each other. So it's 2 lip syncs, and then the winners of either lip sync are going to lip sync against each other, and that will determine who is the winner of the whole competition. Yeah. Isn't that so shady? I can't stand that, because I feel like this show is all about being a well-rounded individual. You don't, unless you're the first person to go, you don't get thrown out of the show for screwing up in one particular thing. Usually you get kicked out of the show if you've kind of stumbled a few times, or you haven't shown that you have range. So if lip syncing is not your thing, I don't necessarily, or not your thing, if you are not a better lip syncer than everyone on stage, I don't think that should determine whether or not you're the winner. I don't know if Jinx would have been the best lip syncer of the top 4 or 5 queens. I don't know if Bianca would have either. I don't know if Sharon would have. Can you imagine Sharon versus Chad Michaels in a lip sync, or Latrice or something like that? That would all be subjective, and it all have to do with the song. That's not really, to me, a great way of determining who the winner is. But we continued on, and I was expecting something them to film a combination of people, everyone competing with everyone at the lip sync, and everyone competing with everyone in the final lip sync, and then they would just kind of paste, and then we would get all 4 girls being filmed getting crowned, and then they would paste them all together, and we'd just go, oh, okay, I guess that was the outcome. I guess that's what Ru thought. They spun a wheel. Trinity was pointed out on the wheel, and she chose, scripted or not, she chose to lip sync against Peppermint, and then they lip synced. After that, the leftover were Shay and Sasha, and they lip synced against each other also. In my opinion, Trinity pulled out all the stunts. Peppermint had a double reveal again with the wig and the outfit. Trinity, revealed this fabulous tuck and this great bodysuit, and then she did a roll into the front of the crowd. It was really stunning, and I thought that Trinity had won that lip sync, but Peppermint had, so Peppermint moves on to the next round. Disappointing in that, Trinity has won 3 challenges and has been very consistent in the show, whereas Peppermint, while she had a very, very strong beginning and she did win a challenge, just the stats weren't the same. So that was a little bit interesting, I have to say. Then comes Shay and Sasha's lip sync against each other, where, Shay does her standard, diva lip sync, and then Sasha pulled out some interesting stunts, which is, you know, great because we haven't actually seen her lip sync yet in the show. So we get to see her pull out the stunts with like this rose petal flourish, and I won't tell you what that means, but it's pretty fabulous, and that's actually not a spoiler, that's just something I think you should experience on your own because it's pretty magical. So she wins the lip sync, and then Sasha is away. And again, you know, like, you know, Sasha's done so well in this competition. She's also won half of the number of challenges that Shay has won, and was partnered with Shay during those. So it's very interesting. It's not that I don't think that she deserves to win the show. It was just really interesting to see that the two with the most wins and probably the most like points or like best stats in the competition would you know, be going home. I thought that was very strange because they just basically let everybody know just straight up that those two are not the winners of this competition, and there was no like retake. They didn't retake any of the lip syncs or anything. They didn't do it for just the purposes of keeping us guessing, keeping people who are Team Shay or Team Trinity, like, you know, on their toes. So then afterwards, Sasha and Peppermint lip sync against each other. You know, Peppermint, you know, gives her high energy again, and then Sasha has this crazy mask and more stunts with her costumery. There were instances where everyone, you know, got really excited for Peppermint, really excited for Sasha, whatever, and so they replayed the song with RuPaul sitting at like the front of the runway to get her like filmed reactions and stuff. And so, and then they were also filming the crowd. And then they had two people, I guess from the staff, dress up in drag as a joke and dance around the stage in the areas that Peppermint and Sasha dance. And they wanted to tape our reactions again. And they said, you know, cheer at the time that you cheered for Sasha. Cheer on this side for when Peppermint walked to that side of the stage or something like that. And so we had to kind of replicate our reactions with now RuPaul sitting, being filmed sitting in the front of everybody. So yeah, that was just very interesting. We'll see if they, you know, use that for any reason, the footage. You know, it could just be like to get, you know, more angles of like the people's reactions, or it could be something shady. We don't know. So let's see. Then that's it. And they were like, all right, we're gonna film two endings, one where Sasha wins and one where Peppermint wins. And after that, Rue told us to go home. No, she was really nice about it, but she was like, yep, that's it, that's our show, and you know, we'll keep you guessing to see which of the two it is, so that you don't go to Reddit or anything and tell everyone who won. And I'm like, well, we're gonna go to Reddit instead, and well, not me, but like there is a great Reddit rundown, and I will probably put a link to it in the description, where someone has like all of the information of every single thing that happened at the reunion. It's great. We know who the top two is apparently, which is shocking to me, because that's not, because you know, if you're Team Shay or Team Trinity, there's no more mystique. You know, you don't get to wonder whether or not your people won at all. And if you're Team Sasha and if you're Team Peppermint, that's great. I guess what I'm trying to say here is I am not sure what Rue has in store for us, because she always has something up her sleeve, right? You know, you think you know what's going on, and all of a sudden there's a twist and a turn. It's television, and now it's VH1 with a bigger budget. So you never know what's going to happen. Only thing I can be sure of is the fact that, you know, they wouldn't have everybody else in the cast get all dressed up to not go on TV and talk. So you never know what the VIP people got to experience, because they got to go in, you know, hours ahead of time. Maybe they filmed interviews then. You know, or maybe they're doing that a different day or somewhere else, and who knows, maybe more footage of these lip syncs are gonna come out, because think about those mock lip syncs that they did. You never know how they're gonna edit things. Television's crazy. So yeah, but I appreciate you guys checking out this video today. I hope I spilled enough tea for you guys, and I hope that was satisfying. You know, of course, if you've read all of the great things on Reddit, you know, those rundowns are going to give so much more detail, but this is just, you know, if you didn't know, now you know, and hopefully you're Team Sasha or Team Peppermint. Comments what you guys think about this outcome, and what you guys think of the finale in general. If this is, you know, something that you agree with, or if this is something you're mad about. I personally am surprised with, you know, how well, like I've said before, with how well Shay and Trinity did this this season. I'm surprised that they would dismiss them so early on, and that they would leave no room open for you to believe that they won. But yeah, we'll see. I love you guys. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I will continue to update everybody on any drag queens coming to town, coming to San Francisco, on Icon Alert, and I will continue to update this channel with more Drag Race content. We will see who America's Next Drag Superstar is very soon. Until we meet again, bye.